Tekken lore is absolutely crazy. I don't know where to begin with this game, as the lore is strange and goofy at times.
Don't lie to me. I killed him with my own hands.
But I'll try my best. So we start on top of a mountain, and on that mountain are Heihachi and Kazuya Mishima, father and son. Heihachi kicks his sons out of suspicion that his son has a thing called the devil gene. Kazuya was 5 at the time. Being the caring father Heihachi is, he throws his son off a cliff and into a ravine, and gives the excuse to see if Kazuya was strong enough to bear the name Mishima. During this time, Heihachi became head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, which was founded by Heihachi's dad, Jinpachi Mishima. The Zaibatsu was originally formed to make weapons during World War II. After the war, Jinpachi didn't like the Zaibatsu promoting violence and was focused on growing the dojo instead. However, since Heihachi is a great individual, he staged a coup against his father, and after his father tried to regain control of the Zaibatsu, he forced his father to Horebora underneath the temple Hanmaru until Jinpachi starved to death. Which means Heihachi is now the new boss of the Zaibatsu, and he made them strong in military terms as well as influence over the world. 21 years have passed, and in those 21 years, Heihachi was doing some wild things. He wanted a pendant that the Native Americans had, as he controlled something very powerful. Keep this pendant in mind. He also took a grizzly cub from the wilderness and treated it like a pet. But not only did he treat it like a pet, he also taught it Japanese. And you wouldn't believe me if I said this. He taught the bear how to fight in the Mishima style karate. But that's not important right now. What is important is Heihachi later establishes the King of Iron Fist tournament, or as we know it, Tekken, which in Japanese stands for Iron Fist. This tournament gathers the best fighters from around the world so Heihachi can have the thrill of battle. Kazuya hears this after surviving the ravine fall and vows to kill his father. Kazuya goes one-on-one against his old man in the finals, and he beats him and does what any normal person would do. He throws him off a cliff. Poetic justice, really. And after that ending, we can finally go into Tekken 2. Now that Heihachi is dead, Kazuya is in control of the Mishima Zaibatsu, and you would think, after dethroning his father, he would use it for good. Sadly, you are mistaken. Kazuya does the same evil things his father does, as well as more lucrative ideas. He somehow managed to convince the Zaibatsu to kidnap a scientist by the name of Dr. Belskonovich to do research for, get this, genetically modified kangaroos that can box. And not only stop at kangaroos, no. He also made him bring back a velociraptor just so he can genetically modify it to box. He was also kidnapping people, but that isn't as cool as a boxing kangaroo, okay? He decides to hold the second King of Iron Fist tournament to show that he's that guy, really. He uses the kidnapping of Michelle's mom to lure Michelle Chang into joining the tournament so he can steal the pendant that she has. In the King of Iron Fist tournament, he meets Jun Kazama. They never really told us where they met. I'm just gonna assume they met during the tournament, so please digress. Something attracted Jun to Kazuya, and it wasn't his looks. It was his aura. His aura is very evil, as Jun can see and sense auras. And she sensed the bad aura that is making Kazuya control his bad actions and wants to save him. They later had a kid named Jin Kazama. Anyways, the tournament happens. Heihachi joins and wants revenge, as he is a prideful man, and goes against Kazuya again and beats him. He later throws Kazuya's body in a volcano this time. Seriously, what's up with this family and like throwing people off cliffs and like volcanoes? I don't get it. 18 years have passed and we're now in Tekken 3, also known as one of the best PlayStation games. With faster gameplay and a new protagonist, it's time we have some fun. This time an all-powerful god known as Ogre is awakened and kills and fights people, as Ogre is the god of fighting. Heihachi wants Ogre as it's rumored to extend life and make you stronger, and seeing how Heihachi is the strongest human in the world, it would only make him stronger. Jun senses a great evil coming, aka Ogre, and warns Jin that if anything happens to her, he should go see his grandfather Heihachi for help. Since Jin is the son of Kazuya and Kazuya got thrown into a literal volcano, half of Kazuya's devil gene is now in Jin. The devil gene decides to brand Jin on his arm. He later meets Heihachi and he learns Mishima style karate. Anyways, Heihachi announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, and Paul Phoenix, a true patriot, defeats Ogre. But wait, Paul didn't get to fight true Ogre's second form. Instead, Jin did, because Paul left too early before he got the chance to fight true Ogre. After a hard-fought battle with true Ogre, Jin finally comes out on top. Finally, we can get a good ending. Did you have to ruin it, Heihachi? Oh my god, I thought we were gonna have a good ending for once in a Tekken game. But no, you wanna be f***ing extra. Oh, f*** you. You see, Heihachi never cared about Jin, only using him to benefit himself. After Jin defeats Ogre, Heihachi decides to shoot Jin out of suspicion that Jin would betray him. And then we are finally introduced to Devil Jin. Devil Jin decides to attack Heihachi and fly away. 2 years later, Heihachi finds out his blood is incompatible with Ogre's blood, and that it needs the Devil Gene, which segues into Tekken 4.
ておった。全てを取り戻す。死にぞこんな意味。
Probably the best Tekken game in terms of aesthetics. Just listen to that music. After finding out his blood isn't compatible, Heihachi starts thinking, man, I really need me some devil gene. I wonder where I could get that from. So let's go back 20 years earlier. G Corp, a biotech company that excels in genetic research, is preserving Kazuya's body after Heihachi drops him in magma. It's rumored that G Corp has also been doing experiments on Kazuya to control his devil form. Heihachi sends out his private military, aka the Tekken Force, aka the dudes that shot Jin, over to G Corp to steal Kazuya's body. But Kazuya, he's simply that guy, and he beats everyone, sending a message to Heihachi. Following the events of Tekken 3, Jin is currently in hiding, unlearning Heihachi's teachings. Heihachi later announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 as a trap to lure Kazuya and Jin, as he promised the winner will have control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. For the semifinals, it was going to be Kazuya versus Jin, father versus son. However, Heihachi intervenes by having his Tekken Force tranquilize Jin, making Jin late for his match against Kazuya. This means Kazuya is the winner by default. It's later revealed that Heihachi has Jin chained up in Hanmaru. Now it's Kazuya versus Heihachi again, for the third time, and after whipping Kazuya, he takes him to where Jin is being held captive. And in the meantime, Kazuya's devil form comes out, vowing to take his half back. But then, Kazuya finally gains control and merges his devil form and his human form together, making Kazuya. And after trying to get his second half back, Jin gets out of the chains he was put out, and he rocks both his dad and grandpa. He later turns into Devil Jin, and right before he was gonna kill Heihachi, he saw a vision of his mom and flies away, leaving Kazuya and Heihachi behind. Tekken 5 starts off with a bang, as Heihachi and Kazuya get jumped by robots called Jacks. For the first time, they finally team up. It was cool up until Kazuya betrays Heihachi, and the robots eventually explode. And you would think this would kill him. Heihachi, no, it just sends him flying into a grave. so he isn't able to win the tournament. This explosion also woke up Jinpachi. Remember him? Heihachi's dad? Well, now he's awakened because an evil entity has possessed Jinpachi after holding up the boulder under Hanmaru. Jin is now in a destroyed forest that he caused in the devil form. He frequently has nightmares that triggers the devil gene. The king of Iron Fist Tournament 5 is finally announced by the Zaibatsu. Jin enters the tournament and gets beaten by Hwarang. Good for him. I hope that he does. Well, that was short-lived. After Devil Jin completely bodies Hwarang, that means Hwarang isn't available for the tournament as he's severely injured. That means Jin continues on and faces his great-grandfather in the finals. And due to beating his great-grandfather, Jin is now the CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Now it's time for Tekken 6. Now that Jin is in charge of the Zaibatsu, he decides to start World War III. Yes, you heard that right. Jin decided to start World War III. Let that sink in. He expands the military, and he also took over the UN. Don't ask me how, please. G-Corp later decides to challenge the Mishima Zaibatsu, becoming its primary enemy. In the eyes of the public, G-Corp are the good guys. Kazuya later decides to put a bounty on Jin's head. To respond to this, Jin announces the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. Moving onwards, Tekken 6 and other Tekken games will focus more on the dynamic of the Mishimas rather than the tournament. The protagonist for this game is a man by the name of Lars Alexanderson. He was a high-ranking officer in the Tekken Force until he took a second to realize that maybe the Tekken Force are the bad guys. So he decides to have a rebel army taking half of the Tekken Force. In one mission, he finds an android girl by the name of Alyssa Boskonovich. Then an explosion happened, giving Lars amnesia and accidentally opening the pod Alyssa was in. He meets up with Togu, a lieutenant in Lars' rebel army, and tells Lars to go see Heihachi to jog his memory. Heihachi is currently in hiding in the Mishima estate. When Lars finds him, he gets all his memories back. It's here where it's revealed that Lars is a Mishima, Heihachi's son. Now that Lars is back on his original goal, which is to stop Jin, he later invades the Mishima Zaibatsu. Eventually, he meets Jin, and Jin tells Alyssa to turn off safety mode. Alyssa was made to be a bodyguard for Jin. Lars later has to fight Alyssa, while Jin escapes to go to Egypt. The reason why Jin went to Egypt is to go kill Azazel, aka the source of the Devil Gene. Lars later meets up with Raven, a secret agent, and they both go to Egypt to track down Jin. Kazuya is also present, and when Lars defeats Kazuya, Kazuya realizes that Lars is also a Mishima. Lars later runs into Azazel, the originator of the Devil Gene. and after defeating Azazel, he later goes to find Jin. Eventually, he does run into Jin. Not after Jin sends Alyssa to go fight Lars. And after defeating Alyssa, Jin refers to her as a worthless piece of junk. And this made Lars really mad, and he starts a fight with Jin and eventually beats him. Jin explains why he started World War III, to cause as much chaos so that Azazel can finally awaken. This is so Jin can destroy Azazel and permanently destroy the Devil Gene. Lars states that he already destroyed Azazel, and that's when Azazel comes out of the ground, but Jin acts quickly and punches a hole through Azazel's chest, sending them both falling into a ravine. At the end of Tekken 6, Lars takes Alyssa's body to Li Chao Lun to be restored, and Raven finds where Jin's body is. Finally, we have reached Tekken 7. With Jin missing and Kazuya running G-Corp, the Zaibatsu has no real leader, and they are still at war with G-Corp. So, Heihachi decides to go to the Zaibatsu and reclaim his throne, continuing the war Jin has started, as well as announcing the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7 to expose Kazuya for being the devil. While meditating, Heihachi gets visited by a guest, and that guest is Akuma? That Akuma's in Tekken 7. Yes, you heard that right. A 2D fighter is now in a 3D fighting video game. You hate to see it. Oh yeah, Akuma is canon, by the way. So Akuma vows to kill Heihachi and Kazuya on the behalf of Kazuya's late mom, Kazumi Mishima. This task was given 40 years ago, and he waited just so Kazuya and Heihachi can be stronger so he can fight them. Anyways, Akuma has a fight with Heihachi and wins and buries him. Later, Akuma goes to fight Kazuya at G-Corp. Kazuya, needing the Devil Gene to survive, turns into his devil form, where the Zaibatsu has drones to take pictures of Kazuya before Heihachi uses a big laser to kill both Kazuya and Akuma. The laser destroys the G-Corp tower, and unsurprisingly, Kazuya survives. But now the world is against him because Heihachi is sending the pictures of Kazuya being a devil to the media. Kazuya destroys the laser in space with his own laser that comes out of his forehead, which sends debris to the cities and makes the Zaibatsu seem like the bad guys again. Heihachi decides to challenge Kazuya for one last fight. Winner takes all. Heihachi decides to do an interview where he explains his story about him and his late wife Kazumi Mishima. Heihachi loved Kazumi dearly, but she started showing symptoms of a split personality. In her split personality, she stated that she only got with Heihachi to kill him before he got too powerful. You see, Kazumi's family has been cursed with the Devil Gene and would seek vengeance on anyone. Heihachi and Kazumi have a fight, and Heihachi kills her, sadly. He was devastated when this happened. Now onto the fight. The scene is at a volcano surrounded by tons of magma. All I can say about the battle is, I just can't describe it. It was so good, you just have to experience it. However, I can say this, Heihachi unfortunately loses, and Kazuya takes Heihachi's body and throws him into the volcano. After throwing Heihachi's body, Kazuya says, So dear viewer, you're probably asking yourself, where's Jin? Well, Jin has been unconscious for most of the game, until the very end, where he vows to kill Kazuya. And since Tekken 8 isn't out yet, that will get its own video, please trust me. This is where the story's at, with the creator of Tekken, Harada, stating,
Heihachi Mishima is completely dead.
So now it's just Jin and Kazuya that we're focusing on in Tekken 8. So thank you for making it this far. I know this video is pretty long, but I did try to make it digestible enough so where you can get the whole Mishima Tekken lore. Right? And I know I swear it used to be a tournament, but now it's just a family beef. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is me thanking you guys. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for supporting me. I really appreciate that because you guys are just amazing, and I wouldn't be here making Tekken videos and doing things I love if it wasn't for y'all. So I really do appreciate it. And the second thing is, I know 2024 hasn't been the best for anyone, I would assume, but we're gonna make 2024 our year. We're gonna make the best of what we have, really. And if it's starting off slow, then we start off slow. But I really do appreciate you guys watching this video, taking your time to watch this video. Just know that I love y'all, and I'm proud of all of y'all. And I'll see you for the next lore video.